Pepperonis in the red. Rest and Pepperonis lead 1-0. I am Malphus X and being joined here by Spuddington, and this is the first installment of the Solomid Invitationals 2014. We're kicking off with the EU edition, and big thanks to Logitech for their support on this one.
Yeah, so first game obviously went going the way of Rest and Pepperonis, but it wasn't so much of a heavy snowball game. That time Mouse actually had the advantage in the early game. They did a pretty interesting pick ban strategy that revolved around stealing away Kha'Zix and Lee Sin from Ko, who is famous. He is renowned simply for the play of those two champions. They can actually do that a little bit more easily this time since they have the first pick. But last game, they prioritized it so much, and it put them into such an odd laning situation with Lee Sin top against the Shyvana, who really outscaled him in the later game team fights, and it allowed the Kassadin over to their opponents. I've got to say, they possibly were over-prioritizing it.
All right, so interestingly enough, the only adaptation that we're seeing in the bans here is that Rest and Pepperonis are being forced to ban out the Kassadin because they're on red side this time around, and they do not want to give that first pick Kassadin over to Mousesports. Other than that, we're seeing the exact same bans, and the champion that avoids the ban hammer this time around because of that is going to be the Rise. So there is the potential for Rise to show up in this game for either team in either lane.
Well, we all know that Alex Ish does play a very strong Rise, but obviously it's not his first pick. There's not a lot of good counters out there to Rise right now. Arguably, I'd actually like to see someone, if Rise does get picked, I'd actually like to see someone start trying to run Aatrox into it, since before he was banned from competitive play due to having that W bug, he was actually starting to be used as such with only a small amount of jungler pressure. He can really make Rise's life a living hell in top lane. But with that lock-in on the Rise, it's going to be a question of if Rest and Pepperonis have something prepared for it.
And it seems they certainly do. The two champions I see picked into Rise most often are Jackson and Irelia, but they obviously were both banned out here. But interestingly enough, the first pick rotation here, it's first pick Rise for Mousesports, and then immediately Rest and Pepperonis fire back with the exact same Kha'Zix Lee Sin pickup that we saw in game number 1 from Mousesports. Interesting stuff here. Ko gonna have his choice between Lee Sin or Kha'Zix for the jungle, and the other most likely to be handled in the top lane by Alex Each.
Yeah, but that is a strange choice here because I really don't see Kha'Zix working out particularly well against Rise, and I really don't see Lee Sin working out particularly well against Rise. I don't think they're likely to run mid lane Kha'Zix. It's obviously possible, but Alex Ish is the top laner, and I do not think Nukeduck has that in his champion pool. So either relying on a heavy amount of jungle pressure in the top lane or snowballing the other lanes and just dealing with Rise in the late game by focusing him out. Not entirely sure I like that, but obviously, it does keep those power picks out of the hands of Konzizan. And it's a funny thing because Ku and Konzizan both have pretty much the same champion pool. They both love Kha'Zix and Lee Sin. And that's why we're seeing this just, I want both of them every time.
All right, so with those two stolen away, the pickups are going to be Lucian for Mackler, and they grab up a Pantheon here as well. Most likely going to be for Konzizan's jungle. We're just going to be waiting for a little bit more information on that. Back over on the side of Rest and Pepperonis, they're showing us a Thresh right now for Mithy. In fact, they're showing us a bottom lane of Thresh Twitch. We got about 5 seconds left for them to make any adaptations to that one. Swapping over to the Nami at the last second here, and that's going to get locked in. So they're going for Nami Twitch. It's going to be the bottom lane here for Rest and Pepperoni.
That's a strange one. Thresh would have worked very well with Twitch. He compensates for Twitch's biggest weakness, which is the lack of an escape using the lantern. But with a Nami, they will have a lot of poke in the lane. There's no denying. There is a ton of damage. Aqua Prison lands, and that is even more damage. They have Scary all in. They have good sustain thanks to Nami. It's a very strong lane up until the jungler gets involved, at which point suddenly they are almost entirely reliant on the Aqua Prison, which is super unreliable and can be easily flashed out of. And post level 6, the Tidal Wave, which is an okay defensive measure, but not great, to keep themselves from being just ganked into oblivion. It seems like a slightly less good pick, but obviously they were afraid of the Morgana, who is very strong against Thresh. But there was always that potential to go for the 2v1 if they had done that, which would have worked very well as well, since they'd have been able to try and shut out Rise that way.
The other thing that I kind of like about the Nami, as opposed to Thresh, is just the fact that once you start hitting the team fight phase of the game, Pantheon brings so much hard engage And Nami has such amazing disengage, where she can use the tidal wave, which if it passes through her allies, will both speed them up and then potentially knock up and then slow any chasing enemies. That might be just enough time to create space and isolate the Pantheon and take him down before the rest of his team can capitalize on that Grand Skyfall.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's definitely a strong pick. I have no problem with Nami in general. It's just in this specific instance there with Twitch. But it's obviously
Oh, Nuke Duck bringing out the Fizz against Take Fun Zed.
Oh boy, that is a dangerous lane for both sides, I'll be honest, but that is a very, very scary lane to be in. And I love to see Fizz play. I really, really love it. And it also synergizes super well if they are planning on, in team fights, just focusing out Rise every time. Fizz does a very, very good job of that because he can avoid most of his stuff.
And I mean, Fizz and Zed are kind of Nuke Duck's like arguably his two favorite champions. He's going to know this matchup inside and out. And it's a matchup that is so reliant on outplay potential. Like both of these guys have so much extra mobility and so many opportunities to just try to take advantage of the other one. The fact that Nuke Duck is picking the Fizz into the Zed, I mean, to me, that kind of gives me pause. That I get the sense that he has to be doing this for a reason. He has to feel confident in his ability to just control the Zed and dominate him throughout the laning phase.
It's definitely an advantaged matchup. Basically, because Deathmark is almost entirely nullified by Playful Trickster, it's an advantaged matchup for Fizz, but there's always potential. It's Zed, it's Fizz. If you make a mistake, if you use your skills incorrectly, you take yourself in the wrong direction, you're dead. Positioning is absolutely paramount. So it's a very skill-based matchup, as you said, but it is, if you were to do 100 matchups between equal skilled players, Fizz would probably win 60 of them.
All right, so up in the top lane, Kuban had to teleport until the very last second. Swapped his summoner out for an Ignite. So he's going to be taking the Ignite into... It's going to be Alex Itch's Rise up in the top lane, and Ko is going to go for the Lee Sin. So Alex Ich going to try to go for the aggressive early game damage of Kha'Zix and mobility to try to shut down Kuban's Rise and keep him from getting out of control. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I don't see Kha'Zix winning that lane in isolation. I don't see the one-on-one working out too well. Buko is renowned for his ganking pressure, especially in the early game and especially on Lee Sin. And Rise is very, very squishy at that stage of the game. And if Kha'Zix gets ahead, there isn't much Rise will be able to do against him. He will be able to just completely shut him down if he gets a kill or two ahead. So it'll be interesting to watch how that lane pans out in the long run.
All right, guys, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. Also, in addition to thanking Logitech, we want to thank ProBuilds.net. You can head on over to ProBuilds.net, find out more information on how these pros are running all of their champions and playing in solo queue, and get a little bit of insight as to what you can do to get ahead in your solo queue escapades. When we come back, it's going to be our second game of this best of three between Rest and Pepperonis and Mousesports. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 of this series here. It's Mousesports in the blue, Rest and Pepperonis in the red. I'm Malphus, being joined here by Spuddington, and this is the first tournament of the year for the Solomid Invitationals 2014, brought to you in part by Logitech and ProBuilds.net.
Yeah, so, okay, right now, we're actually seeing some aggressive moves by both teams right now. Mouse moving towards this upper jungle area. Does look like Alex Ish is ready to spot out. Kubon, much the same. Take fun. Hanging around. Will Ku check this? Will he find? He does. This is slightly dangerous, but I don't think there's anything that's going to happen right now. Obviously, Maus do not have their bot lane in the area. They're just guarding out. But that ward there could be pretty useful in the long run. Won't necessarily tell you where Kontizan is starting, but it cuts off quite a few of his gank pods, basically for top lane and for mid lane.
Both teams just trying to get as much information as they can in the early game. One thing we haven't talked about at all has been any attempts to find or initiate any sort of lane swaps or mismatched tower pushing or anything like that. That just hasn't been a part of this series. Both teams have been more than content to just avoid getting invaded level 1 and then go for hard 2v2, 1v1 matchups in the laning phase.
Well, this is EU where we're manly men and we fight each other. We don't rely on tactics and strategy here. We just outplay our opponents, and I feel like that is actually genuinely that was sort of a joke, but now that I'm thinking of it, that's actually kind of part of the mindset I feel here. We do just like to have straight matchups. I mean, you do see the 4v0s, you do see the 2v1s, etc., but not as often. Definitely not nearly as often as any other region.
So we see Nuke Duck and Take Fun lining up for that level 1 in the laning phase. Everyone just kind of getting out, and the priority in the bottom lane is super hard on Harass.
Ow.
As, looks like Mithy and Freeze feel pretty confident in their ability to outtrade.
And look at how much damage they're doing, though, with the passive on the Twitch and with the E that Nami started with. She's gotten like 2 or 3 full usages of that off, which really does start to add up, especially if you take AD runes on the Nami as well. It gives you so much damage to Harass. And it actually means in the super early game, Lucian can't actually outtrade her in a straight auto attack fight.
Especially with the Spell Thieves too. That's another thing you have to keep in mind. The extra 10 damage on every single one of those auto attacks. As long as Mithy keeps the trades short, it's going to be pretty good. And once they start picking up some levels, Mithy's going to have sustain with the ebb and flow. So Mousesports going to have to be really careful.
They did get the pushing advantage though, so for all that, that is one of the minor weaknesses in Twitch's laning. His pushing is a little bit fiddly. It's not necessarily bad wave clear if you're using Expunge and all that, but you need to use multiple skills in order to do it, which does hurt how quickly you can do it in an emergency situation. So we're actually seeing Ku finding Kontizan. He's out of mana, but he doesn't. He hesitated and then didn't actually land his Q when he tried again.
So not gonna have too much of an issue there. So far the lanes, I mean these lanes feel pretty tightly poised as Alex Itch goes in on a Kubon. Amazing amount of damage up with their last auto attack. Gonna be good to pick up the kill. Kontizan flashes forward, gets the stun, and will trade the kill back out. But big advantage going over to Alex Itch here in the early phase of the lane.
Yeah, he's gonna lose a little bit of experience to the tower, but obviously the kill, Kubon not present for that, so he won't be able to get much experience in return. Roughly equal. We'll see now Pantheon moving down, but getting Pantheon started, that's a very important factor. He is definitely a snowball jungler. Take Fun just got ignited. I'm not 100% certain why, because the mastery for the extra AD and AP doesn't exist anymore, but okay. Fair.
Again, it's about sending the message. Whenever you can put a ninja on fire, he can't just disappear into the background. So wants to make sure that he can keep track of Zen on that one. And Ko, oh, he's there. Kontizan tries to come up for the gank, but Ko is already there waiting for him. Kontizan gonna fall down, having burned his flash in the last engagement. Now Kubon gonna have to flash himself away from this one. In a bit of trouble. Ko not going to be able to land the Sonic Wave. And so Kontizan gives up his life, but Kubon sticks around. The double buff getting passed over, though, is not going to be very good here for the side of Mousesports.
And as we predicted, there's a lot of pressure on this top lane right now, and they're even going behind the tower, so Kubon is getting shut out right now. He was already behind from when he was killed by Alexish one-on-one, and the jungler pressure is now getting to a point where he's not even getting in XP range. that is ugly. That is really, really bad for Rise. Because, as I said before, if Kha'Zix gets further and further ahead, he's just going to assassinate him one-on-one every time he walks into lane. Like right now, potentially. Although he actually went a little bit early.
Yeah, it's just a straight up 2v2 right now. And Rest and Pepperonis feel really confident with that. They like the idea of Lee Sin, Kha'Zix up against Pantheon Rise, and why shouldn't they? It's been working out really well for them so far. Maybe a little bit less so with Ko down below half health. So they might back away and kind of ease up on the pressure a bit, but thus far it's been getting some pretty big advantages for them.
Yeah, really, really nice play from them. And there's a full level, pretty much, on Alex Ich over Kubon here. That's a massive gap between them at such an early stage in the game. Now, actually, Kontizan has gone for an invade here. He knew Ku was low. Ko was low? Ku? Whatever. Whatever his name is, was low. So he's actually feeling very confident about going for this invade. But I really don't see him going for a mid lane gank at this stage. Mithy's got mana, Mithy's got the damage, so what is he doing? He's just taking away the Wraith camp. It's not going to be a major concern, though. And he dawdled around for a long time there, not really doing very much with his time.
So getting a little bit of counter jungling done. Nuke Duck putting some pressure in here. There's the ultimate coming back out from Take Funny. He's got the ignite as well. Flashes forward. Will it be enough damage to Deathmark procs? No, it's not enough. Nuke Duck just barely able to survive. Now, meanwhile, down to the bottom lane. Bubble goes down onto Mackler. Mackler gets exhausted, has to flash back out. Libic trying to stay forward and keep chasing Freeze out of this lane. Not going to find too many opportunities as Mithy uses his body to block out the Dark Binding.
So here's where the sustain comes in, though. Mithy does have heals, and Mackler is going to be fully reliant on his Double Doran's blades to get himself back up to health. At the moment, they're stronger, though, so they are going to be able to get that lifesteal. But I don't see them absolutely forcing Freeze out, and it's such a knife edge when you're on this much health. One mess up, and you're dead.
You see Dark Binding
but not
goes
for
down.
the supports, because they've got more health.
Absolutely. Dark Binding goes down onto Mithy. He's going to take a decent amount of damage. But once again, he is Nami, so he's just been spamming that ebb and flow, trying to keep both himself and his carry as healthy as possible when they have the opportunity. And that's what's keeping Freeze in this one. That's what's keeping Freeze CSing, has been that Nami sustain. So, you know, Freeze with about a 10 CS lead, a little bit more than that if he successfully last hits all of these minions. Going to be feeling pretty good about the laning phase so far.
Yeah, Twitch is not a weak laner. He has so much damage. Yes, he's a little bit squishy. Yes, he doesn't have a reliable escape, all that, but he has so much damage. And now he is potentially trying to set this up for his team. Ku's got enough damage to kill them both.
Yeah, Ko is here, and certainly with Nuke Duck as well. They use the Black Shield. Ko just immediately nukes down Mackler. Nuke Duck gets in on the other side of this one, gets the exhaust in addition to the kill. So every single summoner spell burned by Mousesports bottom lane. And you have to say, with two people being down, it's got to spell a dragon here for the side of Rest and Pepperonis.
They are going to know it's happening, though, because the minions are following them. I'm actually curious, could they get the minions to attack the dragon?
I'm not sure.
Would they aggro?
I don't think so. I think we're playing the raw game for neutral.
The dragon
for
hit the
neutral
minions, though.
Did it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
there you
did.
go. Next level strats.
Next level strats. Take the enemy minions to tank dragon for you. How pro is that?
Oh man, I mean, if you have complete control and you know that no one from the enemy team can come to try to contest, I mean, hey, I guess it works out. Alex Ich, you know, just extending his control in the top lane as he steals away the blue buff. Let's see if he gets caught up by Kontizan. Nope. Turns out grasshoppers have a pretty good camouflage when they're standing in, you know, jungle settings.
It's all right. There was that weird loop hut thing. I don't really know why the wolves live in a hut, but they just do. So if you hide in the hut with the wolves, they're pretty chill as long as you're not, as long as you're not an ass. They're not going to attack you. It's fine. You're cool.
It's the one of the little pig's house that survived. They blew, the big bad wolf blew down the other two houses, and then he moved in after he finally was able to eat that last smug little pig.
Oh, right. So like he adapted to siege strategies then, basically.
Exactly. It's all about evolution and development. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, the wolf won the evolutionary race. There you go, kids. That is your lesson for you. That is your Aesop for today. Ku's been spotted though. He just went past the pink ward. And I don't
Little
really
concern.
see Take part killing him.
A little concerned in the bottom lane with the fact that it's the build order cutlass to just the Vamp Scepter. In addition to the fact that Freeze has been getting a bit of a lead in general, Expect to see Mousesports continue this just hard pushing the lane into the tower and avoiding opportunities where Freeze could come out and try to, come in with ambush and get big stealth plays, stuff like that. Ultimate going down to the mid lane. Earth comes out. Take Fun. Just going to walk away as Ko a little too far away to capitalize on that CC.
I've got to say, though, it's really just a testament to Freeze's ability to last hit. Like, he has been under tower for a large portion of this lane, and yet he is the one with the CS lead. It's just straight up Mackler missing CS where Freeze doesn't, even though it's unforced for Mackler. But now top lane, Kubon in trouble.
Yeah, there's Ko coming in from behind the tower. Lands the Sonic Wave. There's the Resonating Strike. Alex Itch going to be the one to pick that kill up. Now in the mid lane, Nuke Duck on the run. Take Fun. Going to have the damage for sure. Mithy falls down to the death mark in the mid lane. And here comes the Grand Skyfall on the bottom lane. Action all over the map. Now Freeze going to have to try to get himself away from this one. Constantine opens up onto Mithy. Mithy flashes away from the Dark Binding. Lands the bubble onto Mackler. Black Shield. Going to keep him from getting locked up for too long. Freeze, however, already taking that one down. Pops the Rat-a-tat-tat, trying to chase this one down. Gets the move speed buff coming in from the Ebb and Flow. Exhaust goes down onto Constantine. Double kill goes down for Freeze with the Contaminate. Flashes forward. Another bubble onto Libic. Libic going to fall as well. How much is this going to go down? It's going to go to Mithy. Picks up the last kill with the auto attack. And a huge turnaround into 2v3 from Rested Pepperoni's bot lane.
There comes a time where you realize there are 3 people who can't go any further in their own dive and are now going to be tanking. Oh, hello, Take Fun. And now going to be tanking like 3-man auto attacks from the Rat-a-tat-tat. At that point, you know you are in serious trouble, and that was basically why Twitch just killed everybody in the bot lane. Alex is trying for top. He's low.
He's going in 1v1 with this Kubon. Kubon, as long as he stands near his minions, he won't get the isolation damage. He's got the Hex Drinker, and there's Ko coming in as well. Flashes in, using safeguard, another Sonic Wave. Going to pick that kill up for Ko as he chases that one down. And this is, you and I were talking before the game, this is what we expected. Kubon's rise against Kha'Zix Lee Sin, he's going to get camped all game long.
Yeah, just extreme camp. And because they've done so well in other lanes, it doesn't really matter. They're not pressuring them.
Kha'Zix in a bit of trouble, but Nuke Duck's going to find Take One over the wall. Taking some tower damage here, but that's okay. Dragon Rage for the disengage. And that's going to be yet another kill going over to Rested Pepperonis.
They are absolutely snowballing this lane. They are a team which obviously has supreme quality in their plays. They've really, really picked strong individual players, and they're showing it here. The lanes are just dominant.
Ko on the run from this one. Take Fun, trying to pick this kill up. That's not going to pick up the kill with the death mark. He used one last Living Shadow to get himself back out of range, as Nuke Duck's damage output is pretty impressive early on in this game.
Yeah, it only gets worse, but I guess you could say for Fizz, like, his damage is super high at all stages of the game, but late game he can suffer from issues getting in and getting out again. Even though he's got Playful Trickster on like a 4 or 5 second cooldown, it's still possible to focus him out because he tends to be reasonably squishy, but still very, very difficult. At this stage of the game, he's getting to the point of 100-0ing squishies, and now Freeze actually, whoa, what are you doing?
Freeze, he gets spotted out by the pink ward. He realizes he's going to have to try to make something happen. Tries to open up here onto the opposing AD carry. He's going to get locked up by the Soul Shackles. There's the Dark Binding as well, and Mackler, Relentless Pursuit, comes back in, and the double tap picks up the kill.
Yeah, nice little kill there. They should be able to take the bottom tower off of this as well. But meanwhile, in top lane, not going to be an order.
Down to the bottom lane, Tidal Wave going to pick one kill up. Ko kicks Libic back out. He's going to try to chase this one down. Needs one more auto attack. Sonic Wave going to miss. A rare miss for him on that one, but auto attack going to come out from Mithy. Not going to be enough damage. Libic with the potion burning. Kanzi-san has to body block the Sonic Wave, but it might be his own death in return. Dark Binding goes down. Ko able to animation stack and pick that kill up. There's the Bilgewater Cutlass, and then Take Fun goes with the no look, picks that kill up as the tower cleans up Ko and puts 500 gold onto this Zed.
God, swag there on the Bilgewater Cutlass. Just like, I don't even need to use an ability or an auto attack. I'm just going to walk up to you, and then there'll be that slightly strange sound effect. I don't really know what that is. And then you get the kill by virtue of the tower there. So, 500 gold shutdown. Zed 2-1. He's doing pretty well in this lane matchup. For all that I said that it was an advantage matchup, Nuke Duck could be in trouble, but... Oh, wow, what the heck?
Not his best flash. Going to use the Playful Trickster as soon as the Death Mark goes back down. He's going to get locked up. Going to use his ultimate as well to try to create space between him and Take Fun. Death Mark already been burned. And Nuke Duck's going to be able to get himself away from this one without too much difficulty. Now Alex Itch rotating down from the top lane. Take Fun ignited in a lot of trouble. Grand Skyfall going back out. They're going to try to turn this around. Alex Itch already jumped the wall. Going to pick that kill up. And the Grand Skyfall will be canceled. Kanzi-san wants no part of that fight.
Yeah, understandable. His team had managed to disengage at that point, so that was a bad time to be going further. Now, Mackler. This is a horrible place when you're an AD carry.
He's trying to run away from this one. He's not going to get any help from the bottom lane either, as Limbic has been chased out of the lane. Mackler uses Limbic's pursuit, flashes over the wall, but Alex Hitch is there waiting for him. Can they chase this one back down? The point-blank culling Dark Binding goes down, and the Sonic Wave still just enough to clean up the kill on the Mackler. Alex Hitch jumps the wall, nukes down Limbic, picks that kill up, and Rest and Pepperonis have just taken complete control of the map.
Yeah, and now we're into the Kazakhs with so many kills, with the reset potential, and he also went for the ultimate upgrade first, which was, actually I was a little bit surprised to see that in a lane, but still, he is so strong right now. Looking like he's actually, okay, so he went for the Giant's Belt, so he is actually a little bit tankier than we've often seen Alex Ish playing Kazakhs before. Konzizan, abandoned ship. He just ulted out.
He's just gonna peace out. It's not the ideal usage of Grand Skyfall, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's you can think of it as getting a kill in reverse. You're taking a kill away from the enemy. Makes perfect sense.
So down to the bottom
Literally
lane,
perfect.
Take Fun went with the first item, Yomu's Ghostblade. I'm assuming just to give him the move speed to chase down Mithy as he moves around with Playful Trickster and tries to juke him out with Urgent Strike and stuff like that. But not necessarily something you see too often from Zeds. But it's it's been working out pretty well for him. He's been able to roam around pretty successfully and get his early game going decently well. So so far so good.
Yeah, it enables you quite a lot of sustained damage on Zed. Take Fun currently laughing quite a lot. Not
Kuban.
entirely sure what he's achieving.
Goodbye, Kuban. Alex Hitch just walks him down. They both burn their flash. But Alex Hitch can 1v1 can just dominate Kuban right now in this matchup. We see Nuke Duck pops the ultimate on to Take Fun. Take Fun gets himself away from Mithy. Pops the Yomu's Ghostblade. And then just spams his laugh as he farms up.
I think he might have given up on the game. Which would be understandable given the goal difference. Deathmark.
Baits Mithy in. He's going to try to get him back out. Uses the Living Shadow to come back in as he recognizes the Ignite's going to be enough to pick up the kill. Cannot get anything done in return. Dark Binding lands down onto Mithy, and I think you may be right. 9,000 gold at the 17-minute mark is a pretty one-sided lead, and Alex Hitch and Co. are just standing around zoning people away while the creeps move into the mid-outer tower.
Yeah, so he's tricksy. I'll give Zed that. Unfortunately, yeah, not a lot they can achieve right now. Kuban trying, but okay, a tidal wave.
Tidal
Actually
wave comes
does
in from the side. Just, letting people know he's there, sending the message.
Sending a message, damn it.
That is the all-important thing. Ko looking like he wants to try to 1v1 Kuban, actually. He's still sticking around, still trying to chase him. And he, if he's got his ultimate up, he very likely could. Okay, no, he can't. He can't. Run away. Run away quickly.
No. Why? Why? I don't understand.
Alright, so there's Nuke Duck pick up another kill. At this point, I'm expecting this Raider to come out in 2 minutes just based on the playstyle we're seeing here. Yeah, Living going to prioritize that Wraith farm, try to flash away at the last second. He's not even going to get the big Wraith either. Alex Itch. Calculated master plan.
Truly is. He just gained the maximum benefit for his team and himself from that situation. Stealing away the Wraith. Actually, he didn't take the small Wraith, so he's lost out on 5 gold. So actually not perfect, Alex. Sorry. Oh dear,
I think he's going to be okay with this one. Now Alex is going to go in for the dive on Mackler. Mackler caught out under the tower. Free. He's going to be one to pick that kill up. And yeah, at this point, this game looks just about over. 1 minute away.
Yeah, I think we can take the suiciding, the laughing, and all the rest as an unofficial surrender vote. Obviously, there is still 1 minute left, so we'll see what they do with their time. They could always go for the Desperation Baron attempt. Although I'm not entirely sure if Mouse could do it at this point. They're kind of squishy. But maybe. Yomu's Ghostblade, sustained damage, yo.
You never know. You never know what's going to come out. I'm intrigued. I'm kind of looking around. Nuke Duck's build this game was a bit interesting. Take Fun trying to juke out Nuke Duck. He's going to go in with the Death Mark as well. He's going to get taken out extremely low. Alex Hitch going to jump in. And the jukes from Take Fun have been fantastic on this one. Not going to matter. Nuke Duck flashes the wall and picks up the kill there with the Urgent Strike. But he went... Oh, Ko. Trying to 1v1 Kanzi-san with the help of his towers. Just going to back himself away from this one. But I like the Sheen Fetish Codex and then just rushing in for the Zanyas right away. It's not a build path that you see a lot of Fizzes go for, but it's working out pretty well for him. Alex Hitch Diving tower, picks up that kill. Libby gonna go down as well. And Rest and Pepperonis just running all over towers and the entirety of Mousesports as we hit the surrender vote timing. And that's gonna be the surrender.
Yeah, just as like a very quick note on the Fizz Sheen thing, it's something we're seeing a lot more. People aren't bothering with the Lich Bane until super late game, but Sheen is still super good on him, so people actually do build that. And then you actually see stuff like Deathfire Grass being rushed instead. Although obviously Zhonya's, Rabadon's, the Void Staff will all come in at some point in the full build. But obviously that is Rest in Pepperonis taking the second game in a really, really dominant style. There is not much to say strategically other than they just outlaned them, like completely destroyed them in lane, and then snowballed that massively, which last game they weren't able to do, but this time very, very much done. So well played there by them, and Mao's a little bit of a commiseration for them, but they aren't actually out of the tournament yet, I